Oh, that's the good stuff.
Welcome back, everybody, to Goodwill Podcasting with Connor, Dan, and Stone, your movie podcast that today is talking about the best movies of 2025. Now that we are 2 weeks into the new year, into 2026, we have finally had some time to go back and watch everything that we had missed. No Other Choice. I got to drive an hour away to go see No Other Choice. Just yesterday, Connor got to catch up on some stuff. His kids are now grown up a little bit, missed a lot of 2025 movies. Now he has caught up a little bit. Dan, of course, has 130, 140 movies. Man's been on a mission in 2025. But it's not just us. We have a guest on as well, which I'm super curious to talk to about where he is from and what movies have come out there yet, because I know that the distribution is a little bit iffy when it comes to 2025 year-end releases. Anyways, I'm yapping. It's Jamaal Berkmar, first-time guest on Goodwill Podcasting. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thanks for having me. Yes, this is great. Looking forward to chatting about movies.
So you're in Florida right now, I believe.
I am. Yeah, I am.
Is Marty Supreme released where you're from?
Yeah, Marty Supreme came out on Christmas Day, I believe. I weirdly checked this a couple of days ago because people are talking about the international release and whether or not it would make money. And I know it's out in the UK because I think it just had a big week. I think it made like 10 million, which is a big deal in the UK. So I know it's out now.
How frustrating is that? Like, are you like not looking forward to the end of the year, like when it comes to like the United States coverage of movies? Because you know that there's going to be a lot that don't come over there.
Well, I got lucky this year because I worked with the British BFI, the British Film Institute, and they had me at the festival, so I saw a lot. But like, I mean, I know you guys are going to talk about Hamnet. I've still not seen it. I'm still behind on Hamnet.
I haven't either.
I got lucky with a few others. I think the problem I've had is like not being able to revisit them. Like, there's two on my list that I'm like, I know I love these movies, but I can't recall a lot of the why. But yeah, it's frustrating. I remember growing up and like we were always behind. We were always like 10 episodes behind on Lost and Prison Break. You know, that was always the thing where I was like, we knew what was going on because Americans were talking about it and you'd see stuff online. And Lost was such an online show as well. But it's weird. I don't recall it being this much of an issue with films. I feel like this year's maybe been one of the worst, or maybe I've just been paying attention to it more than I have in the past. But yeah, it's been annoying. It's been a bit annoying. Luckily, I came out here. I know that Dan, we've both talked about, is this thing on? Like, I was so glad I got to see that when I did, because that would have escaped me had I waited. I think that doesn't come out till the 30th of January. So yeah, it's been a frustration for sure. And talking about movies and having an audience go, where can we see it? And I'm like, you can't. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about your content too, because it is very fascinating. Because I feel like you do very much feel like an influencer. You're like, things are going on in my life, right? Things are going on in my life right now. I want to talk about it, which is super interesting to a lot of people, and I think that's a cool thing about social media. But how do you find yourself as in? Like, do you see yourself as a film content creator? You have worked with BFI, or do you see like we're in 2026? Do you kind of want to direct your content, or just keep it the same? If that makes sense.
You know, so I was a dancer for a decade, and then I fell rock climbing, and I did a stupid thing in a studio, and I just like I wasn't able to walk for a while. So like my life was always that job was always sort of. I remember once a girlfriend I had a long time ago taking a look at some sort of job I was doing, and then kind of look at me and going, I don't really know what you do anymore. That job was always so weird and varied. Like sometimes you'd be on stage in a play, just walking across. I was in operas, you know, I choreographed. I did so many weird things that I don't know how to pin myself down to one thing. I love talking about film. I do. That's my primary content, film and TV. But when I see certain creators who it's all they do, I'm so impressed because I don't know how to stay focused on it. I don't know how, like, I see people just do it. I'm like, I get bored after about a week. So whenever someone gets annoyed at me for, I don't know, talking about masculinity or race or something, I'm usually like, I'll be off this in 5 days. Don't worry about it. Like, I can't stay focused on one thing long enough. Film and TV and books will always be there, and I'll always want to talk about them. But I just can't. Right, it's my first year doing it, so I just can't quite stay focused on one topic long enough to be like, well, that's what I am. That's all I'm doing. So yeah, I think I don't feel like an influencer. I just feel like someone who isn't hasn't nailed down what it is they want to focus on yet. Yeah.
I say when you see people do 35 videos on Stranger Things right in a row, you're like, how could you talk about that for so long? I would say you did you jumped on that train a little bit, and I will say,
Yeah.
as the season went on, I think a lot of people probably tuned back into you. You're like, hold on, this guy might be onto something here.
Yeah, I think the end of episode 4 like got people back in, and I was like, I think I just wasn't convinced. I was just like, no, you can't. But I think even with that, that's a show that had it all released in one go, I'd have done one video. That was, I think, because of that release schedule. I think I did 5 videos, and that was a lot for me on one topic. but yeah. I think there's a few. I don't mind. I think people think that I like talk the way I talk because I think it's factual. I'm like, no, I just know it will spark conversation. I know everything. People think I don't think what I say is an opinion. I'm like, no, I know it is. I just know you'll say yours now. That's the fun of it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I really hate when someone says, "In your opinion," I'm like, yeah, obviously it's in my opinion. I'm just really, really, I'm down for it. I'm down for my opinion. But yeah.
I feel like that is the beauty of social media too, because I mean, Dan has stitched your videos before where you gave an opinion, he gave his own opinion, and now we hear talking on a podcast because it's okay if people have different opinions and stuff like that. So
I feel like I've reposted some of those. Well, I don't know if those ones specific, but I know I've reposted ones. I think I've done a lot. The Michael B. Jordan Chalamet stuff this week, I was like, that one was exhausting. But yeah, I don't know.
I think we have been slowly covering Star Wars, and I think that we have the sequels remaining. So maybe we'll have you on here so you and Dan can talk about The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that one. Yeah. I'm a weird defender of that movie. I think it's because I don't know. I watched it with my little brother who adored it when he was a kid, and the dude next to me hated it. And I remember him being like, "Well, it's just not for us anymore." I don't know. I'm a defender of it, but we can talk about it another time for sure.
My feelings on that are so complex because I think the movie has good and bad, and I think my main take on that is I think if The Rise of Skywalker had followed up on The Last Jedi in a genuine way, if it had just stayed the course, I think we'd look at the entire trilogy in a very different way. But I think because a lot of what was done there was just kind of left hanging, it feels so disjointed. And I think The Rise of Skywalker is like one of the worst movies I've ever seen in the theater. But anyway, I think it's there's good and bad for me.
Are there different writers on those movies? I know they're different directors, but is it also different writers?
Yeah.
It all just feels a bit silly.
I would say
The Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker at least has, I think both of those are both JJ. So it's Rian Johnson coming in with The Last Jedi. That was different, at least director wise.
But wasn't JJ brought back? Wasn't it Gareth Edwards? No.
Oh, I'm not sure because Gareth Edwards, he did Rogue One, so maybe they did bring in Gareth. I know there was a lot of.
I don't know if it was Gareth, but someone got fired or something, and they brought JJ back. So it was
Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Connor, I've never heard your opinion on The Last Jedi. You're probably the biggest Star Wars fan, I would assume, probably out of all of us. Because I know the big thing about that movie, I know we're getting on a little bit of a tangent here, was that it really challenged the fan base, as in people had beliefs about Jedi, Yoda, Luke, the Force, and how it, like midichlorians and how all that behaved in the universe. And then Rian Johnson was just like, you know what, let's shake it up a little bit. So how did you take that?
I need to rewatch that because honestly, I've only seen them 2 times ever, but I think I like The Last Jedi worse than The Rise of Skywalker from memory. But I always say The Last Jedi is the best looking Star Wars out of any movie, any show. Like, the movie's gorgeous, which is what makes it slightly watchable for me.
Yeah. Rian Johnson's movies are always so beautiful. I mean, that's why I know Dan, rightfully so, has a little thought towards Netflix, as in they all look like shit. It looks like a Netflix movie. We talked about that a little bit when we had our Frankenstein conversation, but I was really happy when Wake Up Dead Man came out, and I was like, that's a beautiful film. That doesn't fit Netflix. Finally, we have an example we can look at as something actually looking beautiful on that streaming service. But Connor, speaking of you watching movies, Connor had a child this year, big 2025, or last year.
After having a child in 2024 as well.
Very different than me and Dan. So Connor was not able to watch as many movies, missed some episodes of the podcast for very understandable reasons. But what were some big movies of 2025 that you didn't get around to?
So I'm not that far behind on my first one, but Marty Supreme is like the one that I like really want to see, especially so I can have a better conversation about Best Actor, because I know it's right now the conversation between him and Michael B. Jordan. I also wrote down 28 Years Later, but I also haven't seen a single 28 days, weeks, whatever they are later. So I'll be binging all those this week to get ready for our episode next week. I had Jurassic World down, but my two co-hosts let me know before the episode started that it's not worth my time.
It's just boring, dude. It's just such. You think
Yeah, but, like,
dinosaurs? It's got to
It
be
brings
fun.
out my
It's
inner
so
child,
boring.
like big dinosaur go chomp.
I mean, it does feel like a child wrote the script. Sorry, David Kep. Hopefully, the script's a little bit better with Disclosure Day, but
Oh, is he? Oh God. Okay. All right.
hold on to Spielberg.
But also, like, I feels like they tried to rip from the Alien Romulus with the dinosaur, like the weird deformed dinosaur. I was like, what are we doing?
Like a Rancor from Star Wars too.
Yeah.
What is this?
Well, now you've intrigued me more. I also have Hamnet on there, which I've missed, and then Ballerina as well.
Ooh, I think that came and went. And I was really disappointed by that. I think a lot of people, more people should have seen that. It should have been just as popular as a John Wick movie, honestly, in my opinion.
Do you think
Ballerina was
the John Wick title helped it at all?
It probably did. I mean, people, even though they watch the trailers and Keanu Reeves jumps up or pops it up in the trailers, I think people have been like, huh, is that actually part of John Wick or no? So you literally have to have from the universe of John Wick Ballerina. I mean, that's what they did with the Continental show, I believe, on Peacock too.
Yeah. And then there's just a few other small ins and out ones here that I want to see. I know Dan doesn't like it, but I'm still intrigued by the concept of Death of a Unicorn.
Oh, I never saw that. That's one I never saw either.
The unicorn did die.
Yeah.
Friendship is one I still really want to watch.
Yeah. Jamal, you said you also didn't watch Hamnet. Is there any other ones that you missed?
I did. I put a list of the things that are notable, maybe to this conversation. No, I don't think there's anything that I think is in that sort of discussion. I don't think so, anyway. Anything else I missed? Not that I can remember. Oh, I was late to. I finally watched The Materialist like a week ago.
Oh, I also haven't seen that.
We got that so late that when all the discourse had like happened, it felt like it spoiled it a little bit. And then my girlfriend, like we both love Past Lives. When we first started talking, that was all we talked about. And she hated The Materialist, so it just left me a bit numb. So I finally watched it, and I don't hate it. I'm just like, it just felt like a bit of a nothing film for me. And like, as once being a poor, starving artist as a dancer, I'm like, just do the job you're supposed to do. What's wrong with you? I don't get his life. Well, I've lived in a tough city too. Yeah.
I don't want to hate you because you're poor, but I really kind of do right now.
Also, but who talks like that?
Dude, yeah,
One of the wildest lines of the year. Oh my
yeah.
God. It is so dramatic too, like them getting out of the car in like the middle of New York City. I'm like, come on now.
When I saw an interview with her saying like, oh no, in the movie where he's like, oh, I could take one of those ad campaigns that my agency. I'm like, you had that on offer all the time. You had that in the background, so this is just the most privileged you're choosing this life for yourself. So yeah, I just didn't like that movie, unfortunately. But yeah, no, I've not missed a lot.
I was gonna say, I think The Materialist would have been really interesting if it just focused on her work. I think that was the most interesting aspect of the movie, and I think almost removing her own romantic endeavors. Like I thought the storyline with the woman who gets like sexually assaulted felt so jarring, but like if the movie focused on all that stuff, I think it could have been interesting. And you could have done a lot, but I don't know.
I don't want to ruin it. I said I don't want to ruin it for Connor's sake. But the Pedro Pascal plot twist with his character, wild.
Is that a real thing? Is that a real thing?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, fair.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I mean, I don't see a whole lot of 5 foot to 5'4" guys, so maybe they do need that a little bit of a pick me up. I mean, that kind of did spoil it for Connor, but I guess I'll go next because I know Dan watched the most out of all of us. I kind of like you, Jamal. I don't think that there's anything here that necessarily would have affected my 10 favorite movies of the year. If it would have, taken up any of those spots. There are some notable ones here. Number one movie that I've been wanting to watch for like 9 months now has been Black Bag. I still did not get around to Black Bag. I've heard just great things about it.
Yeah.
It was just an accident in The Secret Agent. I almost watched The Secret Agent last night at 10 o'clock, but at a theater near me, not even my usual theater, but it's 3 hours long.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't end up going. Blue Moon, didn't get around to watching that. As a animation lover, animation fan, I didn't get to see Arco or the Little Amelie in The Color of Rain. The voice of Hin Rajab was another one.
Yeah.
Struggling with my international films. I did get a lot done this week, but those are some that I missed. Hedda. Sorry, Dan. I've been telling Dan I'm going to watch it. Still have not watched Hedda. Die My Love. Now, I know Dan did not like that movie, but
I'm with Dan on that.
I've been telling, I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say this. My mother-in-law, she has an Amazon Prime account for Prime Video that I've been using ever since I've been married to my wife. And I'm very thankful that I'm a part of her life, because now once in the last 2 years, each year I've noticed that she has like 9 subscriptions that she pays for. And I'm like, nobody in my family watches movies like me. So I'm like, okay, you're not using Peacock, you're not using Apple TV. Somebody has your information and they're buying these subscriptions. So I've canceled them once for her 2 years ago. At the end of last year, I saw it again and there was 9 more. I'm like, please change your password. She promised that she was going to change her password, did not. I'm actually might have lunch with her here in a second, or here in a couple hours, so I might have to yell at her again. Anyways, she didn't change her password, but she now has Mubi as a subscription. Do not think my mother-in-law is watching movies, but now I can watch Die My Love. That was all that to say that.
You should watch The Mastermind as well. If you've not seen The Mastermind, it's on there as well. It's really good.
I do really like. I've only watched one movie by Kelly Reichardt, but I really loved it. What was the movie we watched, Dan, that had Kristen Stewart in it?
It was the movie with Lily Gladstone too.
Women.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember the time. 20th Century?
No, it's something.
No, it was we talked about that with Yeager.
It's Certain Women.
Certain Women. There you go.
Okay.
I loved that film. Loved it.
I'd only seen Wendy and is it Wendy and Lucy had? Yeah, Wendy and Lucy is the other one I'd seen, but I love The Mastermind. I thought it was great fun.
If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. That was one I unfortunately didn't get around to. Jay Kelly, which I've heard mixed things on. And then also, I added it to my list because you mentioned it, but I still need to watch Is This Thing On? So I think
Sovereign?
Did not watch Sovereign. Let me add that to my list.
Is Jay Kelly on the Golden Globes this list? No.
Yes, I know Sandler is nominated.
I'm seeing it get like awards noise, and I'm very confused. As someone who
Noah Baumbach,
I liked it enough, but I'm like, it's okay. Anyway, moving on. Yeah,
it's a Noah Baumbach of it all. It's just like somebody who's usually associated with the Academy Awards. I feel like it's just like, oh, a new Noah Baumbach movie's coming out. We're probably nominated for a couple stuff.
I guess.
I hate that.
Fair enough. Okay.
But overall, 2025, guys, how was it for you? Pretty good?
Movie-wise?
Not a bad year? Yeah, movie-wise, life-wise. I mean, you started content creating. Jamal's taken off, just talking about his life. Look at that. Dan, the Realist of Takes, second year covering the Philadelphia Film Festival. How many movies did you fit in, do you think, Dan?
At the festival?
Yeah.
It was about 30.
Damn.
He goes to festivals to work. He's not there for pleasure.
Dude, by the end, it's I mean, it's 10 days. By the end, you're feeling it. Like I watched Sentimental Value. It was the last movie I watched on Sunday night after 2 weeks, and like I'd like to watch it again because I just think, it has an effect. But it's a lot of fun. It's a great festival.
Yeah, Connor, how many movies did you say you got to watch overall in 2025?
I'm at I think high 20s, low 30s, somewhere around there. So it's hard for me to answer how the year was in movies just because I watched so many in the last 2 weeks that I feel like I've just hit the heavy hitters, the ones everyone are saying positive things about. So for me, good.
In general, I think this year was incredible for movies.
Which I have heard. So
Yeah, it's such a strong year, and like,
I just don't think I can give an authentic opinion just because, I've only watched ones that are getting award buzz. All my mutuals have said positive things, but like I picked some of the movies I watched this week to get ready for this episode by going to Urine Stone's Letterboxd and filtering 2025 highest rated by you two and kind of selecting from there. So
I actually thought it was a really. I actually didn't like the year until. So I thought Sinners was holding the year up until. I guess like when I went to the film festival, I think one battle after another just come out, and then all of a sudden I was like, okay, I'm seeing all the best movies now in the film festival. But I had a weird year where I wasn't enjoying a lot, and I thought it was and then I think the back end of the year, there's loads that I've loved, and then Sinners had just held up. When did Weapons come out as well? Was that?
I think it was March.
Weapons came out.
March or April.
No,
Oh, was it? Okay, was it?
I have
Weapons
no
came
idea.
out. Weapons came out in August.
Or, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Warfare, not Weapons.
Yeah,
Weapons
like,
came
I
out in
think-
like August or September.
Yeah, it's been a good year. I just think it didn't kick up for me until that last from October onwards. But that
Weapons
again,
was
it's
August,
a
'cause that's
UK
when I got
thing.
my tattoo and all the tattoo artists were talking about it.
Right.
It does seem like a very, not to be fit into the stereotype, but my brother absolutely loved Weapons, and he is tatted from head to toe. It does seem like a very tattoo artist, like hell yeah, crazy old lady killing kids or whatever. It does seem like a very tattoo artist type of movie.
I guess I'll add that to my 2025 that I've missed that I'll try and get to.
I also think it was a year where some of the big, like a lot of the big franchise stuff, not only I think struggled quality wise, but struggled at the box
Yeah.
office, which is interesting. But there were a lot of good kind of surprises and success stories. I mean, the box office was up, I think, 2% overall year over year, which is not massive, but like I'll take it. It's growth. So
I did Superman
that's-
at the box office.
It's impressive considering those superhero movies didn't do so well.
Yeah, Superman did about like 650
Okay.
worldwide, something like that, and then hopefully,
Fantastic Four
the
didn't do that well, did it?
Fantastic
No.
Four did like 500, maybe a little bit over 500. But what's crazy is what
makes me
people, dude, it didn't get covered a whole lot. But the real crazy story, and I think I might have already talked about this on this pod, but is the fact that when Fantastic Four dropped on Disney Plus, less people tuned in to see that than when Captain America: Brave New World dropped on Disney Plus. Now you can say a reasoning for that could have been that, I mean, Fantastic Four made more money, so more people saw it.
Yeah.
So that's why, but
Still bad,
still
though.
not a good
not
look.
good. No, not good.
Wow.
I mean, Zootopia 2 is still going to do numbers on Disney Plus when it drops, and $1.8 billion have come in for that movie almost. So
I've not watched a lot of animated stuff. I watched Arco and I watched K-pop Demon Hunters, but I've not really watched a lot that's animated this year at all. I just haven't tuned in.
I've got one animated in my top 10 that you have probably not seen. So
Yeah, probably.
be-
I wanted to put Arco in, but it just couldn't make it in. I just personally loved Arco, but I also don't think it belongs in the top 10. I just really loved it. You know.
I'll say, well, you are our guest. Do you want to? We'll do around the horn here. So
Yeah.
we'll do Jamaal, Dan, Connor, me. You want to give your 10th best movie of the year?
Yeah, sure. I should say ahead of time, 10 and 9, I think, are because I haven't seen them in a long time. I remember what I felt like, but I can't quite remember a lot of details. So I think this movie will be higher for me when I see it again, but I'm going with No Other Choice at number 10. I just remember the feeling after I saw it. Like I remember being really surprised. I remember a lot of there's a lot of confidence in the tone of it. It's such a great lead performance. I also think that's another one. I'm like, do I love the lead performance more than I remember? I just remember feeling like, yeah, I just love that movie. I thought it was great, but I just haven't seen it since October. So I just can't draw back on why I loved it, like specifically the details of it. But
You saw that at the film festival?
yeah.
Wow. I'll say, yeah, I know that was a late release. So you seeing it back in October, that's cool. But then you're, like
Yeah.
you said, you can't remember too much of it.
No. I mean, I remember the movie. I can remember scenes that I loved, but I can't quite draw like the specific language to going in. I remember thinking the filmmaking is really invisible here. There's a lot of like pacing and timing that I really loved. And that sort of like he's so competent, but like I felt him getting cornered quite a lot. I just think he's great. I really felt him. I really felt all the different themes of like the rat race coming through him in a way that I really love. But I need to see it again.
Great pick. Dan, number 10.
At 10, I had a movie that I feel like I disagreed with a lot of people on, and that was Warfare. I think it's a movie that I honestly went into not really expecting to like, and I think it's one of the best movies we've ever gotten about any conflict in the Middle East. I think it showed the pointlessness of all of it, and not just Iraq, but Afghanistan. I think the movie doesn't tell you what they're doing there. There's no, this is the bad guy. There's no big mustache twirling villain. It's, you step into the conflict. They take someone's house. They say, "Oh, I like this house. Let's take it." They go in, scare the shit out of a family, put them in a room with guns pointed at them, and then all this stuff sets off. And then at the end, they basically blow the shit out of this neighborhood. You don't see a single person get shot by U.S. soldiers in this film until one person gets shot because they had to go pick up a hammer they left in the street, like a sledgehammer. That's the only person. There's no. At the same time, I do think it's good. Kind of showcases tactically how this stuff went down. Not only the American soldiers, but also how the Iraqis fought against the United States. And there was a lot of kind of strategy that I thought was interesting. But I saw it as an anti-war film, and I think leaving the movie with that family just sitting there in the smoke and rubble, asking why is this happening? I thought that was really powerful. And I just think people brushed it aside. Some people without seeing it, and some people maybe didn't really want to engage with it. And I understand why. I mean, 1 million people died in Iraq, right? Like, it's unbelievable. But I think the movie, and I don't know if maybe that was the intention, but that's how I read it. So I thought it was, and also just technically the acting. Will Poulter, I think, is an incredible actor. Even when he's in stuff like Death of a Unicorn, which I thought was bad, like, he's giving a great performance. I think he's really talented. And I just think it was technically incredible. The best sound design of the year. Like, I liked it a lot. So that's my number 10.
I'd love to have a conversation with anyone who says it's a pro-war movie.
There's a lot.
That's baffling.
I agree. Yeah.
I imagine they didn't see it. I'm going to be honest. I don't think you watch a movie like that and think that really like it's
Or you go into it like a predetermined mindset of how you're going to view it without being open to it.
I'm British and I don't watch that thinking like it's not even my people. It just wasn't a pro-war movie. It's just yeah.
This might sound a little cheesy, but like Jamaal already mentioned, like I went into the Marine Corps, like in high school, like there was times and this sounds shitty, but like I would watch like American Sniper, Lone Survivor. I'm like, yeah, this is kind of like, this is badass. This is like, what I'd want to do. Like, which sounds weird and wild, but like warfare, like I would watch something like the beginning 15 minutes of Saving Private Ryan. I'd be like, I should probably reconsider. Like maybe not the best idea. Like I think that's what Warfare would have the effect on me back then. Whereas like American Sniper is a very obviously pro-war, pro-American movie.
Yeah. And I just liked like the lack of objective, the lack of it's not there to demonize anyone. It's just showing people in a neighborhood and people fighting back. And I think they captured all the chaos really well. But
yeah.
All right, Connor, number 10.
So I rewatched this in the last couple of weeks. My number 10 is gonna be Wake Up Dead Man.
Nice.
Nice.
On our episode where we covered it, I said my least favorite in the franchise. I still had it at a 4-star, so I still enjoyed it a lot. I'd say it's now my favorite in the franchise after rewatching it. Picking up on some different things, seeing the things that you guys brought up on that episode. Josh O'Connor, I feel like doesn't get enough praise as an actor, like in general, not just for this role.
Yeah.
And also Josh Brolin in that role has made me laugh harder than, I don't know, maybe any other movie this year.
Josh O'Connor had a really good year. He was in 4 movies, and he's very good in all of them. I mean,
yeah, he's
in The Mastermind.
Yeah,
Wake Up Dead Man.
Rebuilding.
The one with Paul Mescal as well, right?
And the movie Rebuilding, and the one and that one as well. So you had 4.
Wow. Is that when you're talking about, Jamaal? Is that The History of Sound?
Yeah, which is a great movie.
To watch that one.
I never saw Rebuilding, but History of Sound is really great.
I mean, Disclosure Day next year for him too.
Yeah,
good for Josh. about to take off.
He's had one of those quiet, like you know, when everyone thinks you see too much of someone, no one's saying it of him, but he's had a busy year. He's been in more movies than like a Glenn Powell or a Paul Mescal, but because he's not so prominent online, you're just like, yeah, do your work.
He's also very, very, very likable, I think.
Yeah, I
agree.
agree.
Yeah.
I mean, 2024 was just
him and Paul Mescal are also very good friends, and like I like Paul a lot. I think he sometimes gets miscast, like in Gladiator, but like good actor, you know.
Isn't he taking like 2 years off acting?
Paul Mescal? No, because he's going to be in the. I was just about to say Josh O'Connor got lucky because I feel like you would think with his popularity now that he would get cast in this, but I'm glad he's not cast in those Beatles movies, which Paul Mescal is cast in the 4 Beatles movies. Which I believe those come out in 2027.
Time off.
He might. I mean, he's been acting a lot. I guess we'll see, but those come out in 2027, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Who is it? It's Harris Dickinson, Paul Mescal, Barry Keoghan, and then who's the last one?
The Stranger Things guy, Eddie.
Oh, Joseph Quinn.
I'm over it, and it's not even come out. And then they've given Anna Sawai is playing Yoko Ono. I'm just like, what are we doing here? What is going on? This is not.
Because because Sam Mendes is directing all of them, and if the first one is bad, because I think that the plan is to release in April of 2027 to release 1 movie a week. But what happens if the first one's poor? Like, what happens to the other ones?
They're not going to be. They're not. My issue is that, like, as a Brit as well, like, I'm a Liverpool fan. Then like cast Scousers, cast people from Liverpool. You don't need stars. They're already the Beatles. Who cares?
Right.
Like, just cast 4 Scousers. Also, the Beatles are ugly. All 4 of them are ugly people. They're supposed to be unattractive people. Yoko Ono too, and they've gone for the most like. They've gone. Barry Keoghan is what, like, the slightly, he dated Sabrina Carpenter. Like, just cast 4 Butters Scousers and let them just do it and have a laugh with it. Like, what are we doing here? I don't think Brits are happy about it, but I'm sure they'll make. It'll make $1 billion somewhere. So.
I said that exact thing where I feel like casting unknowns and letting them just disappear into these people is the move. Like, I don't want to look at it and be like, that's Paul Mescal doing a little voice. Like, and again, like you said, they're from Liverpool. Like, it's not just any Brit will do. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Speaking of, English films, my number 10, very divisive movie that I really liked that we're getting a sequel for this weekend. 28 Years Later.
Oh, wow.
Is my number 10 movie. I attempted to rewatch it 2 days ago, and I got about 15 minutes in. I just had something to do, but the way that Danny Boyle like films these with the editing and just how he moves the camera, I know most, if not all of this was shot on iPhones. It really does feel like 28 days later. It just feels like 2000s filmmaking brought to 2025, which was super cool to see. There's shots in this. He uses CGI really well. It just feels so experimental, and including the story, which is where a lot of people got very differing opinions about the movie. I know Dan, he really liked the first part with the son and the father storyline, and then it went into something. He's like, oh, I'm not a fan of this. I thought the movie was going in one direction. It decided to go in another. But for me personally, when I found out that the main character of the film was going to be this child, who's a very good actor, and his relationship with his mother and just the relationship with him dealing with this world and how to navigate it, I thought it was extremely interesting and one of the most unique movies that I saw personally in 2025, and it really worked on me. Also, I'm probably going to mention this with some of these films, but something that also just means a great deal to me is this is a movie that I saw with my wife, and it's cool to go into a movie with my wife not knowing whether or not she's going to like it. And thankfully she really liked this one, really dug it, even though she doesn't like horror movies. So personally, that just made the experience that much sweeter. I have only watched it once, and I plan on rewatching it as the sequel comes out. But it is cool. Supposedly the sequel might be better than this from a lot of people's perspectives, which is really cool.
I love Nia DaCosta. I think she's a great.
I was just about to say, you guys being big fans of Hedda, like I'm excited that we're getting different direction here, and maybe the story will be more concise and it'll be a lot better. So I'm excited. But yeah, that's what I'm
I find it so fascinating that the what's the villain's name from Sinners, who I've forgotten his name.
Jack O'Connell.
Does the character does that all land for Americans? Do you know what he's doing? Like,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
So my take on that was I thought it was kind of strange. I think when the guy still has like, there are still people alive that are like victim. Like, I'm just like playing this as a joke. I mean, I don't something about that. I mean, I'm not British, so I don't know, but that's I felt a little odd about it.
We were bemused. Like, why are they doing it? Just in a sort of like, wait, why are we bringing this guy back up? It was just such a strange decision. And then I was thinking about it internationally. I'm like, do you guys even know the history? Like, it's such a weird. That's like Mr. Rogers, basically, for us. You know, if find out Mr. Rogers was that kind of creepy guy. Yeah, it's just such a weird decision that I never understood. But
I will say maybe it'll be a little bit better because, like Wicked, like these movies were kind of filmed at the exact same time, even though there is a different director. So maybe the introduction of the Jimmies at the end of the first movie will seem less like a joke when you watch the movies back to back, because it seems like the second one's very serious, and it's like it's not going to be a comedy or anything like that. And obviously, you're going to have the context of the sequel when you go back and rewatch the first movie. So it might help out just a little bit. But yeah, it's very, very jarring when they pop up at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people say like they thought down that road they were going to see it was going to be like a Avengers Endgame moment. And they just thought they were going to see Cillian Murphy just standing there like, I'll help you. But number 9 for you, Jamaal. What you got?
So same again. It's the film that I like. I know when I get to see it again, I'm going to probably move it higher up my list. I'm going with If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I just like floored by Rose Byrne. Firstly, I think her performance is. I saw a review somewhere before I watched it that said it's Requiem for a Dream but for parents, and I was like, yeah. And then when I watched it, my mother called. I was talking to my mum. She's like, oh, should I? Because my mum always is like, should I watch it? And I'm like, no, don't do this to yourself. Like, don't. As a parent, particularly as a mother, just give yourself some breathing room. This is a rough ride. And I'm with Dan. I really didn't like Die My Love. And I think that all the noise I heard around Die My Love, I was like, but this is the film this is the strange, relentless movie about postpartum that like I want to hear the story of. And it felt very recognizable in a way that felt really uncomfortable. I just think she was I think this year for me has been a big one for performances, and I just thought she was so good. She was just so good. So that's my number 9. But it'll be higher when I see it again. I'm positive of it. I just, again, can't remember it so as well as the top 8 that I have.
Gotcha. Man, I really wish I watched that movie. Dan, I know it's on. I'll probably rent it for $20 later today, but
I think you'll like it, Stone. I also think Conan O'Brien was fabulous too. Like, act more. I didn't know if I'd just look at him and see Conan, but I thought he gave a good performance. And A$AP Rocky too. My number 9 is Sovereign, which kind of quietly came out early this year. It was written and directed by Christian Swegel, I think his name is. I'm not sure if this is his debut. I think it might be, but it's Nick Offerman and Jacob Tremblay. I think if there was any justice, Nick Offerman would be getting like award consideration for this. It basically deals with the sovereign citizen movement. This came out, I believe, after Eddington, and to me, I watched Eddington, which felt like this caricature of so many things and unserious and very disconnected from real people. And then I watched Sovereign, and I was like, this is a story about actual Americans and how people get radicalized. And what that actually looks like. And I think Jacob Tremblay is a fabulous actor. I see he reminds me a lot of Timothée Chalamet. I see him kind of as like a 1B to his 1A, but I think Nick Offerman, it's funny because this character he plays as a sovereign citizen almost feels like and a darker evolution of his character from Parks and Rec. Like it's almost like this like libertarian taken so far to the nth degree that sovereign citizens basically say we don't listen to the government of the United States. We exist in our own place. We don't pay taxes. We're this and that. And I just think it's a beautiful movie. It's very sad, but I just think it's a very American movie, and I think the story it tells is really important. So it's a small movie, but that's my 9.
We'll get around to that one too, I promise. Be a little bit cheaper to rent, probably.
I was gonna say I'll rewatch this episode and just like write down everything.
There's a lot of movies, man.
Yeah.
I said, Dan, I never asked you. I can't remember. Did you miss anything that you wanted to watch? You said no, right?
No, I did. I haven't watched K-pop Demon Hunters, which is crazy. But
I mean, you don't have Netflix.
yeah, in the same vein, I didn't watch Steve, the Cillian Murphy movie.
Oh, yeah. That's a good.
Did you watch that, Jamaal?
Yeah, I did. It's a good performance. I think it's a better performance than it is a movie, is what I'll say. But yeah, again, I haven't watched that for a while. But that was a big one back home in the UK. Like people really took to that, and also he's just having a great year, a great few years. So
yeah. Also, Peter Hajar's Day, I wanted to watch at the film festival. Also at the film festival, I missed The President's Cake, which is an Iraqi movie about Saddam Hussein, and thought that looked interesting. And I didn't watch Nouveau Vague, which I wanted to watch, but I haven't. I literally just started Breathless, so I wanted to watch that first. So yeah, those are some of the things that I missed.
All right, Connor, number 9. What you got, my friend?
I have Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere.
Ooh, okay.
It probably helps how much I do like Springsteen already. He's someone I've listened to because of my parents for years. But it's one of the movies from this year that I feel like has stuck with me the most, like that I can just remember the most about. I enjoyed like almost my entire time in the theater. I really like Jeremy Allen White's performance. I don't think he should win, but I would like to see him maybe nominated.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I heard someone talking about that this morning. I was listening to someone talk about that, but I feel like movies do better when it comes to smaller films like this if they do better financially in the theater. I think Springsteen was a little bit of a failure, but when you rewind all the way back to 2024, Deliver Me From Nowhere, A Complete Unknown actually did pretty solid numbers, I believe, at the box office. Very similar movies, very somewhat similar performances.
Yeah.
Obviously musical biopics, but
I feel like Timmy sells a little better than Jeremy Allen White right now.
It's true. Star power.
But yeah, I mean, the Born in the USA sequence, that whole thing, kind of gave me chills.
isn't it also like
Sorry.
one of the few biopics that it's not leading to some big show at the end of it? Like it is just like he releases it and then you're like, oh, why is the movie not done yet? And then you're still living with his. I don't like biopics, but I like that movie.
I'm with you.
About. Yeah,
I'm with you there. I like how it kind of led to like almost mental clarity, like not completely because it still ends with he battled depression for years, but like you see him getting better, going down the right path, forgiving his dad almost, or like having that moment with his dad.
Yeah, Stephen Graham, big year for Stephen Graham.
Yeah. Oh shit, I forgot it was Stephen Graham.
Yeah. Number 9 for me is oh my gosh, I just had Begonia. I think the reason why this is my number 9, it's not my favorite Yorgos Lanthimos movie, not even close to be honest, but I really like his style, and I really like Emma Stone, and I really like Jesse Plemons. So, and then how do you say the name of Aiden Delbis? Yeah, he's fantastic. My wife. Also, another experience that I had with my wife, which is amazing. She likes Yorgos Lanthimos a lot too, which I'm surprised by, but I'm really down for. I also did not know that his character's arc was going to go the way it did. When it comes to a climax, I jumped out of my seat, and Leah was like, "Dude, of course." I mean, come on. I was like, sorry. But yeah, I think it's story-wise, I texted Dan this, what it has to say about capitalism and businesses taking advantage of people who are less fortunate than them and really using them. I got a lot of that from No Other Choice. I think watching these back-to-back would be a very interesting double feature. Unfortunately, I had the ending spoiled for me, which was probably the highlight of the movie for a lot of people because it gets really Lanthimos-y there at the end with the production value. But yeah, it's just a fun, entertaining time. I mean, Emma Stone is just like, it's really easy to watch her act, and this is just mostly her. So yeah, you can't really not like it, in my opinion.
Lanthimos-y might be my new favorite word.
Lanthimos-y? It's good adjective there. Jamaal, what you got for number 8?
So yeah, fortunately, I've just in my head swapped them. I'd written this one down as 7, but I'm moving it to 8 because I want 8 to be 7. It's Begonia. I'm putting that at 8 now.
Nice.
I don't have a lot else to say from what you've just said. I think that like the third act has to happen. That's my problem with the movie. That it's the only real way it can go because otherwise it's incredibly anticlimactic. I think. I also like who's the cop, the comedian. He's so great.
Stavros.
He's so
Stavros.
great. He's my favorite thing about it. But then on top of it, I would just say like I think people really wanted to praise Jesse Plemons, who's great in it. But I'm like, Emma Stone is doing such incredible work in that movie. Her character doesn't get to bounce around as much as his does in a kind of like chaotic sort of elastic way. But I just think she's phenomenal in that movie. Like she just is phenomenal consistently. But yeah, I'm going to move that to 8. I had that in 7, but that's my 8th now.
Yeah, she's my second favorite actress.
Yeah,
I say this all the time, but I think Emma Stone's going to put in another like 30 or 40 years, and she's just one of the best actors ever.
Yeah,
she's just going to be one of the best actors of all time. Like I think she gets a lot of love, but I think she doesn't quite get like she might not get nominated for this performance. Like what? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
I not to go off on a tangent, but great actor.
So like, it's kind of hilarious where they're just like, yeah, we can't give it to her every year. Really, I mean, she is nominated for the Golden Globes, but the Golden Globes is a little bit different because it's split into comedy and drama. That is a little bit of hope there, but yeah, I don't think she's going to be nominated, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Dan, what do you got, my friend?
For 8,
yeah,
Twinless.
Shit! I didn't even think about it. Oh, damn.
Yeah, this was and sorry, guys, I've been sick for like 2 weeks. I'm coughing a lot, so I have to pause here to call for a second.
All right, I'll narrate. Dan did just cough.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I think this movie is really special. I think there's a couple really quiet personal movies in my top 10, and one is a little bit higher, but I think this movie is really, really good. It stuck with me. It's, I think, a directorial debut from James Sweeney, who co-stars with Dylan O'Brien. I think Dylan O'Brien should be used more in Hollywood. I think he's someone I've always respected. I mean, even just he almost died on the Maze Runner set, just coming back from those injuries, getting back into acting, kind of growing up from this like teen wolf, like teen star kind of guy who could have just taken easy heartthrob roles and not really done anything. Seeing him make stuff like this, I'm really excited for the future of his career. I don't think there are really enough movies about like male friendship or adult friendship in general, whether it be male or women. Like I think it really nails that. I think the movie is darkly funny, but also really, really upsetting. And I think there's almost like a After Hours King of Comedy sort of weird like darkness to this that's really hard to nail. And I think it's masterful. I think it's one of the best movies of the year. And Sweeney also is very good as an actor too, not just as a writer-director. So that's my number 8.
I mean, speaking of Dylan O'Brien, every single time I see the trailer in the theaters, I'm so excited for the Send Help movie, Sam Raimi with Rachel McAdams. I think it's going to be so much fun. And he does this laugh in it where he's like,
I forgot about that movie.
It's very funny. He does it on the plane.
He needs that run that Robert Pattinson went on in the early bit of his sort of breaking from Twilight. You know, like he's such a big name now, but you forget. Like, I mean, Good Time is a great movie. What's that one where he's in the limo? Anyway, he did have that few years where he was like, I'm just going to be that weird guy, the Rover. That's what I think he needs to do. Just break away now. Even because like we forgot about Robert Pattinson during that era, but people who paid attention were like, "What's he doing?" And now he's what he is, you know. And I think that's what he did. That's what Dylan O'Brien should do because he's great. He's so good.
Yeah.
My 8 is Fantastic Four.
Woo! Oh, so this is a contentious one for me. I'm going to stay over here for this one.
I think I liked it so much, a lot, for the parental aspect of it. I think Pedro Pascal's anxiety of not knowing about that first kid and like that's his focus. I wish I, as a dad, was able to build a machine where I could, make sure everything with my baby was okay inside my wife. And dealing with all that, I do think the ending was a little predictable, and by a little I mean a lot. With the Silver Surfer, but for the most part, I did really enjoy it. I'm really starting to like Jack Quaid a lot, or Jack Quaid. Am I right on that?
Joseph Quinn.
Joseph Quinn. Yeah.
Joseph Quinn. Thank you. Not Jack Quaid. That's
Jack Quaid. He would have been fine.
Also great. Yeah. Also
yeah,
great.
I like Jack Quaid.
Joseph Quinn. I'm starting to like him a lot more. But I don't have a lot to say about it. I think it's just all the parental aspects, the fears, and then I think the scene where she like kind of makes her stomach invisible so he can see that the baby's okay is like super cool.
Yeah, they do a good usage of the Invisible Woman's powers, I think, in that movie more than they've done in any single Fantastic Four movie, which was cool to see. And also her not just being a prop for like hotness was really cool to see.
Oh, look.
Oh, Jessica Alba.
So weird.
Yeah, good old 2000s movies.
Yeah.
My number 8 is Train Dreams. I remember just kind of watching this movie and being in a kind of a trance. It was very calming, but very sad at the exact same time. And just the idea of watching a man deal with his mental health in a setting like this, in a time period like this, and the way that it culminates into that very last scene of him actually finding happiness in a very interesting way was just so beautiful. And I'll never forget it. Even though her accent was a little bit iffy, Carrie Condon randomly pops up. I love Carrie Condon. And I'll never forget the moment where her and Joel Edgerton are sitting on top of her little stand that she has, and they're looking out over the forest. And he's like, I can't even see what happened to my family, what happened to me, what happened to our home. And putting that in perspective of him being on the ground, just sleeping there, and how much it can consume his life. But I think it was more so hopeful, as in there's a lot of other life out there. The world's big. You gotta like step out of your comfort zone just a little bit, even though it might seem so hard to do. It's powerful stuff. Also cinematography, beautiful. So
sound.
All right, number 7.
Yeah, I've gone with Sorry Baby. I just think it's a really weird movie in that it's such a heavy subject matter, and yet I could watch that movie again and again. I find assault on screen, I mean, understandably so, I just don't want to see it. I feel like, no, thank you. I don't know what I'm learning from this. The only show I feel like was, I don't know if any of you saw Unbelievable, the Merritt Weaver, Caitlin Dever. That had a really intense scene with assault, but you have to live in all the choices she's making after it, and so you kind of get it, because it's like, I want to be as viscerally affected as she. I can't be, but like I want to be close to it. But usually, I think that what I loved about Sorry Baby was that it's a mood. I think that when I deal in stories of assault, it's like you deal in a survivor trying to survive the after. This is like, it reminds you that they're also people. Like, she's so funny, and she's so endearing as a character, and the movie is too, that it just served as a really useful reminder that like these aren't just people who want to be seen only as survivors, and they've got this huge amount of baggage. But even in the way they deal with the assault, it was, I hate to say this word, but it was a very creative way to do it. It's still very chilling, still very affecting, still very like emotional. But yeah, I just love that movie. It just really made me kind of think of the way that we portray those characters differently, as more than just like that event. You know, she's just such an interesting character, and I could live in that world again. I could go back and watch it. You're not going to be too emotionally affected by, you are going to be, but not in a way that it leaves you like tainted by the experience. You're just, yeah, it's just a beautiful film, and it's so funny. I think she's so funny in it, and yeah, it's written so well. Is it? I think it's a first-time director as well.
Yeah,
great,
Victor, yeah.
Great film.
Yeah, what you're saying is like, I rewatched it this morning, and the character Agnes, she keeps on saying like, every single time people see me, they're scared for me.
Yes,
and I'm much more than that. Like, I don't want this to define my life and how people interact with me.
Yeah.
What a heavy movie to start your morning with.
Yeah.
You know what? I went on a 3-mile run this morning. Went to the park with my dogs. I've been up.
But also,
I would say that wasn't the start of my day. That's what I was trying to say. I wasn't trying to show off there.
But tonally, it isn't heavy in the way that other films about assault are heavy. I don't feel exhausted. I feel really light and breezy, which is such a weird thing to say about what that film is. I thought that's such a great, again, another movie that just should have gone. Was that a straight to streaming film?
No, it came in
Okay.
theaters.
I think maybe we just didn't get it. I saw it on Mubi, I think it was. So yeah, adored it.
Well, it seems like when it comes to distribution, it seems like A24 really struggles with distributing movies, where you're from. So which makes sense because that is a A24 movie. So it makes sense maybe why you didn't get it.
Struggle with distributing good movies in general.
Hey, 5 legs, I kick you. There you go. You got one.
Yeah.
All right, Dan, number 7.
My number 7 is this thing on? I saw that at the at the Philadelphia Film Festival. Not a lot of people have seen it yet. I hope more people. If you listen to this, please go watch it. I just think it's a lot of the stuff in my top 10, and a lot of the movies I like in general are very heavy. That's just kind of what I gravitate towards. But this is a movie that's very cheerful, very wholesome. I think I've talked a lot about the problems with romance in Hollywood today. We just talked about the materialists, like stuff like that gets really pushed. I'm just like, this movie is lacking humanity. They don't feel like real people. Or if they do feel like real people, they're not people I want to be around. And I like seeing romances with people that feel like human beings. I think it's a movie that has respect for Laura Dern's character and Will Arnett's character. It's not asking you to like pick a side. They both make mistakes. They're both flawed, but they're both likable people. They both have passions that you get to see them kind of pour themselves into and kind of rediscover the things they care about or discover something new that they care about in Arnett's case. And I just think it's beautiful seeing people, inspired and passionate about things they love and seeing how that can heal people and heal a relationship. Or maybe not, depending on how it goes. But I just think it was great. I think Bradley Cooper. I hated Maestro. I couldn't stand it. I think that's kind of everything I dislike about a movie is kind of all packed into that movie. But seeing Bradley Cooper step out of the spotlight, still have a role that's very funny, and he's in the movie, but he's not the focus.
His entrance is so great. It's like first appearance.
Yeah. And I think Laura Dern is a fabulous actor. I just watched Wild at Heart for the first time this year, which I loved. She's just really good. And it's kind of a good pick-me-up of a movie, I think, if you're, tired of watching darker things. So that's my 7.
Yeah,
I will say I was not expecting that. I mean, you mentioned it after Maestro. I was like, all right, Bradley Cooper. Do you like A Star is Born?
I do. Yeah,
okay.
I like it.
This is this thing on is his best movie for sure. Like,
yes.
Also, just you've already said it, but the fact that Laura Dern has a voice in that, because every movie I see like that, they're just over here,
Yeah, she would just be a side thought, not a character. Yeah,
she would like give some speech to pick him up when it's not, and she's just great. Yeah. That was one of my hadn't seen it in a while. Reminded myself it, so I didn't squeeze it in, but I knew you would, so I was grateful someone would mention it. It's just so great.
Also, one of the funniest cameos of the year, which I won't spoil.
Yeah, yeah.
Very good cameo.
Yeah. Forgot about it.
I'll say, Dan, I'm gonna check it out right now. After we get done with this conversation, I might go watch it.
I think I've been telling my girlfriend about it a lot, so I think we're gonna try and see it because we thought it was out much earlier, and then I think it's limited release already, but it's out now, more in more places. So yeah,
got it. 1:30. I'm gonna book the ticket. Connor, you go ahead with number 7.
Number 7 actually isn't a movie. I want to put a documentary on here. Amazon Prime, John Candy, I Like Me.
Nice.
Has anyone here seen it?
Yeah.
So
haven't seen it, but I heard really, really good things.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it also made me realize I haven't seen enough John Candy movies in my life. But I think one of the best parts about it is there was a time, I want to say it was mid 80s, that he started to lose some weight, and his family was pretty proud of him, and then his agent in Hollywood were basically like, no, we need you as the big man. So he picked up smoking, drinking, eating a lot more again. And I think it kind of dives into just how shitty Hollywood was back then. And I mean, even still today. Also kind of just talking about how he got started, everyone he worked with. It opens with Bill Murray kind of talking about his friendship with John Candy, and I think it's really good. So if anyone hasn't seen it, I would highly recommend watching it. And I also have a video I'm planning on putting out tomorrow for it.
It's really good. I would second that. It's really great.
Nice, cool inclusion. Yeah, documentary in here.
I didn't even think about a documentary actually. Yeah,
it was something I really want to talk about, and I've really been thinking about for the last few weeks. I was like, you know what, it counts.
I said my number 7 is a movie that I've spoken about a lot, and Jamaal, this is the one animated movie that I have on my list, but it's a Netflix film called Lost in Starlight. This is the which is surprising because I made many videos about K-pop Demon Hunters, and I'm proud of those because I made them before the movie was really popular. So, and then I remember that I'm getting on a little tangent, but when the top 5 songs that you listen to on Spotify came out, like 3 out of 5 of mine were K-pop Demon Hunter songs. So I was like showing my followers, like, I'm for real, I like this movie a whole lot. Anyway,
who were the other 2, Stone?
My Chemical Romance. Crazy duality there. I literally have K-pop Demon Hunters record down there, and I also have My Chemical Romance, the Black Parade record. I'm a man of many tastes. Anyways, Lost in Starlight. This is, I believe, the very first Korean film that Netflix themselves has produced, and it has so many fascinating elements to it. One that will automatically hook me, which is why another movie will appear on my list later on, is there's so much music in this movie, and it's like lo-fi pop music, original pop music, which is just beautiful to listen to. But basically, the story is set in the future, and this animated world kind of has a similar vibe to Blade Runner. It looks like Blade Runner's world, but animated. And it's about a astronaut whose mother was also an astronaut who disappeared, I believe, on Mars. And her goal is to try to graduate, I think, through her programming and get there to maybe find her mom, because it wasn't confirmed that she had died. They just lost connection to that. But what's amazing is that she meets a musician and falls in love with him. And it's an animated film, and I would say for about the first hour of the film, it is them and their relationship, and that is the focus of it, which was very shocking for me to see, but it's really beautiful. And then everything with like him being a musician and everything with her finding her mom, it like builds up into this climax at the very end. Like, I feel like most people will be waiting, like, oh, let's get to Mars, let's get to space, let's get to like the action of this animated movie. But they build such a good foundation for this relationship. They take their time with it, that when it gets to that moment, it's emotions. Like, I don't think I cried. I got close though. I don't cry a whole lot. The Pit. Do you watch The Pit, Jamal?
No, we don't have it. I'm gonna binge it while I'm here. We don't have it on stream. It's you guys have got season 2 already, and we're hearing about it, and we haven't. It's not anyway.
Crazy.
I'm gonna binge it while I'm here. Yeah,
I binged it in 3 days. I will say I cried. You might cry then.
I cry when it comes to film and TV. I cry with ease. It's the only thing that gets me with ease. Yeah.
Dan, what was the last movie that made you cry?
Minecraft movie.
A few things on my list. The end of Begonia, I think, made me like tear up for sure. I thought that was very, very powerful. Same thing with Hamnet.
Yeah.
There's something else. There's something else that really messed me up that I can't think of, but I'll come back to it if I think of it.
Okay.
But something from this year.
I think the last one that like got me really good was A Real Pain.
That's a heavy movie. Damn. With 2 lead actor performances.
Yeah.
So Dan, I wanted to talk about. We'll talk about that later with maybe the Golden Globes and everything like that. But number 6, Jamaal, what we got?
I'm going for sentimental value. I don't feel like I have a lot really to say, but do I think this is one of the best movies of the year? Probably not. But I'm just like, I'm so obsessed with Renata Reinsve. Like, I think she's one of the most watchable actresses on the planet. I don't think I have anything else to say. I think even like if she's in a movie and the plot sort of thins out or like the stakes aren't as high, I just will watch her. I just will watch her do anything. So I think it's probably not a great choice in there, but I'm just obsessed with how she acts. Which I just love her. And she's doing that Backrooms movie, which is probably, I don't know, might be rubbish, but I'm just going to be obsessed watching her. So yeah, love what she's doing. Love that movie.
So that's crazy that she's doing that. Also, I did get around to watching that movie this week. It was one of the ones I missed. I wish she was in it more. I think Dan mentioned it in
her
his like
sister does really
supporting.
well. Yeah.
Well, I would say also Stellan's not really a supporting actor in that. He feels like a lead actor. He's in the movie a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like her. Yeah, the back rooms.
I think the three of them, the family, are the core of the story for sure. Like Fanning is a useful tool, but I just love her. That's the thing. That's why I'm not doing this well. There's more I could say about this film, about her sister. Her sister does a really. I just love her. You know, I just will watch her all day. But anyway,
yeah, it's a good movie. My 6 is Train Dreams, which I know we all like. I just think it's fascinating. I almost think too. I almost feel like the entire movie is kind of operating as like this cosmic punishment for the lack of action when the Chinese immigrant is killed. I almost feel like you're watching the universe not let someone forget. And they use that guy over and over again, and he keeps seeing him. And I think that makes the movie right now that much more impactful. But I do think it's a movie that doesn't beat you over the head with anything. It just kind of shows you a life. It shows you someone existing, and the ups and downs. I thought it was beautifully shot. I think William H. Macy was really good as a supporting actor in that film, as an actual supporting actor. That's what a supporting performance is like.
Yeah.
But I also just think it's a riveting period of American history. Like, if you could be born in 1865 at the end of the Civil War, and you could watch Reconstruction. You could be born when the Ku Klux Klan is founded, and then you could live 100 years and see the Civil Rights Movement, and you could see Kennedy and the Bay of Pigs. You could see, the Cuban Missile Crisis. After living through World War I, World War II, Korea, like
that's insane.
The internet, like the computers, the airplane, like it's this ridiculous period of like so much change. Not just technologically, but societally, and so much changed at the same time. So much didn't in that 100 years, it's not quite. I think he was born in the 1880s, and it's an 80-year life, so it's not quite that. But just seeing the country change, seeing technological advancement. When you think about that, there's kind of a parallel there between No Other Choice as well, with the ending. But I just think it's a great movie, and it's Clint Bentley and Greg Quidar, which was the same team behind Sing Sing, which was one of the best movies of last year. So, like, they're a great team, and I really love that. And I think Joel Edgerton, nobody will talk about him for really awards, but it's a great performance, just a bit quieter.
He might get in there. I don't know. I think he's on the outside looking in right now, but
yeah.
We'll see. I love those when people post the fact that, like, oh, during the Civil War you could have faxed like information about it because the fax machine was made or something like that to like a samurai in Japan. Like all this stuff is happening the exact same time, but the world's so big that you just don't think about it. Fascinating stuff. All right, Connor, what we got for number 6?
Zootopia 2.
Hey, hell yeah. Good movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I just really enjoy it. We said it on our episode, but like the fact that they threw in the second twist unneeded, but welcomed. And even though it's voice acting, I really like Andy Samberg in most things. I think his comedic timing on a lot of stuff is phenomenal. Kind of funny hearing him take on a villainous role. But yeah I really
does
enjoyed
it.
it.
Does it match up to the first one?
What did you say?
Does it match up to the first one?
I might like this one better. I don't know.
Wow.
Ask me tomorrow. I might like the first one better. It's kind of.
I love the first one. That's crazy. Okay, damn.
Yeah, I think they're on the same playing field.
Damn, I've not seen it. I need to go and see it. Yeah.
I think the social commentary in the Zootopia 2 is a lot more interesting than it is in the first one. The first one, it seems very surface level. It's just like predator, prey, prejudice against people. Like, okay, I get that, but they're really attacking like the higher ups in Zootopia 2, which I really like. And history in general, like the history of the city of Zootopia and how the truth wasn't told. And how people in power.
Zootopia 2 doesn't have as much comedy in it, but it's still really good.
So I will say, cool. The first movie is about the CIA pushing crack into cities. So
Okay.
don't sleep on the first movie with the social.
Oh right, yeah, that's oh my god, yeah, that's so true. That's
What's the crack in Zootopia 1? What is?
the
drug,
thing that
dude.
they used
Oh
to,
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's Predator,
Okay.
It's
Sorry, I
Damn,
didn't get
I mean,
the crack
Zootopia is so
analogy.
good. Zootopia is so good. It's so so, and that's going to make $1 billion, isn't it? God, hopefully those kids are going to.
It's going to make around 1.8 billion, I think. So you're going to get like four more Zootopia movies, just like
1.8?
Frozen. Yeah,
Damn.
it went crazy. Yeah.
it has like the thing is, it's going massive in China. Like they've made like 600 to 700 million dollars in China.
This is why I'm sick of this. Like people don't want to pay for the cinema. They do want to pay for it because that's the most expensive thing to do is to take your entire family to Zootopia.
Yeah.
So you can go and see Train Dreams on your own on a 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. You know, like I just don't buy into this that it's too expensive because you're all doing the most expensive thing possible. Leave your children at home.
Dan, do you know about the I don't know if you're a huge popcorn guy. We've only watched movies with each other twice.
I like popcorn. Yeah.
Do you know about the popcorn pass with AMC?
No.
You pay $30 a year and you can get 50% off your popcorn the entire year.
It's a good deal.
That's a great deal. So you get AMC A-list and you can get 50% off your popcorn for the entire year. The only thing expensive now, in my opinion, at the movies is a drink. A drink will cost you like $9, but
I grew up, maybe this is a British American thing, but my mum used to be like, no, we're going to go to we can't afford popcorn and drinks, so we're not getting them. Like we stuck it in our bags. Like I didn't, I'll hear someone say like, oh, it's so expensive to do. And I'm like, you don't have to pay for the ice blast. You don't deserve an ice blast. You're going to see a movie. What are we doing here?
It drives
is that what
me
you call
crazy.
it? An ice blast?
Yeah, well, it's an ice blast back home.
Dan has never had an ice blast.
Yeah, and fair play. He doesn't need one. They're not.
No, he does. No, Coke and cherry ice blast. That's what he needs.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. All right, sweet.
Where are we at? Number 6 for me. My number 6 is Marty Supreme. I'm a big fan of very stressful movies. Surprisingly, I have not watched the Safdie brothers' other films. Now, I know this was just Josh Safdie. I have not watched Uncut Gems. I was going to maybe buy it 2 days ago. I went to a local video store and they had a lot of Criterion collections there. And I was like, I will buy Uncut Gems if it is there. It was not there. So instead, I got Tron Legacy on Steelbook. I got The Breakfast Club and I got Mrs. Doubtfire. So there's my little haul right there. But yeah, I think the casting in this movie is pretty exceptional. For people didn't see it for good reasons because Kevin O'Leary is in the film. I will say it doesn't seem like he's playing a part, so he did a very good job. But I will say they cast so many. I don't know if you saw it, Dan, but the Knicks fan who was like went viral with like an interview. Josh Safdie saw that interview. He's like, "That's a true New Yorker. I want him in my film." Just really cool shit like that.
Right, cool.
Yeah. So I guess
wait, who is he in the movie?
He is the Marty's buddy, who's the one who's like, "Oh, we got the ping pong balls made for you."
Oh no,
so the heavier gentleman. Yeah, so he is
that.
from a very famous interview. He's a Knicks fan. Just after a game, somebody interviewed him, and he was talking all this shit about I think another team. And Josh Safdie's like, "I want that guy in my movie."
That's really good. That's insane. That's a cool
so,
story. I didn't know that story. Damn.
Yeah, I hope. I know they're having, I think, a best casting award now for casting directors at the Oscars. So I think that this one should really be considered. But yeah, it's just really entertaining. I love stressful movies. My favorite movie of all time is The Social Network, and I wouldn't say that's on this level at all, but it's kind of like just a taste of that. This is one that I brought my wife to. I'm like, "Do you want to see this movie?" She said, "Sure." I said, "You're not going to like it," because I showed her Shiva Baby, one of my most underrated movies, I think, that stars Rachel Sennett. Very, very good, very stressful movie. And she didn't like it. But I mean, just the twists and turns, the way this story goes, I thought Tyler, the creator, did a great job. I thought who else was in this movie randomly? I mean, Kevin O'Leary, I already said it. There's just some shocking moments. There's a lot of very, I think, viral moments that people will see clips of a lot on like YouTube. It's just highlight after highlight after highlight. It doesn't stop. And that's really entertaining when you're sitting in the theater.
Yeah. Nice.
All right. Where are we at? Number 5 now? Whew, a lot of movies.
Yeah. I went with Hedda. I just think that movie deserves way more noise than it's getting. It came out on Prime in the UK. I don't know if that's the same in the US. It's just like,
it's fair. Yeah.
It's just, I think the way I think about that movie is that she is an incredibly manipulative character. The performance is so manipulative. Like Tessa is in such control. It's such a micromanaged performance. Every like head turn, everything she's withholding, every time she crumbles, I'm like, I've never seen someone more in control of their performance than that. And then on top of that, I think the directing by Nia DaCosta is like as controlled and as manipulative. And I just think it's a great movie. And I'm unsure what my favorite lead actress performance is. I've got 3 written down if we get to it, but that's one of them. Like I adored that movie. And I think because of this last week with the Michael B. Jordan snubbed discourse, which I know I poured some oil on, but I'm like, why aren't we talking about Tessa Thompson? That's the one. I'm like, that's the performance I want to hear about. So, yeah, love that film. That's my number 5.
The movie has a 3.3 on Letterboxd.
Oh, for who? Oh, for everyone.
That's the rating, 3.3.
I don't use Letterboxd, so I don't really know what that means. But
it's like 3 out of 5 stars. That's not a good rating.
That's
Really?
the average is 3.3. Yeah.
And I think
Like
it's
Marty
really
Supreme has like a 4.3. Just to give you an example.
I think it's kind of like Saltburn for adults. Like I think it's like
yeah.
like doing that movie better.
Yeah.
It's very good, and I think most people would like it if they watched it. My 5 stone is that next?
Yeah, you're 5. Yep.
5. I had Sorry Baby, which I watched early in the year. I think no one impressed me more in the industry this year than Ava Victor. I think what they were able to do with writing, directing, and starring in this is unbelievable. I'm curious what Ava's going to do next. And there are so many little, small performances in it, like John Carroll Lynch we talked about, that just add so much to it. Every single scene has a lot of purpose. And I think something I love is tonal balancing act. I think we watch a lot of movies, we get tired of seeing just this or just that. Blah, like it gets repetitive. So seeing, like with Twinless, the dark comedy mixed with the drama, especially, Jamaal, like you said, you don't ever have to show rape on screen. It's just never necessary. I just watched Mysterious Skin for the first time, the Greg Araki movie, and I'm like, part of this movie is so good at showing the consequences of these things and how it affects people's lives. But then there's a couple scenes I'm just like, you didn't have to do this. Like, this is so, it feels like you're just trying to be provocative for the sake of, because you can. And it like undermines the good things about that movie. But anyway, we've talked about it a lot already. I think it's great. So that's my 5.
Connor?
My 5 is Sorry Baby.
Ooh. You just watched this, right?
Last night.
Okay. Ooh.
Damn.
My wife has watched 5 movies with me this week, which has got to be like an all-time record. She said this is her number 1 of the year. Out of maybe 5 movies she's seen of 2025. But when she first goes to the professor's house, and then it kind of like pans away, and like you're kind of just watching the outside go through like maybe late afternoon, nightfall, nighttime. In my head the entire time, I was like begging the movie not to pull a Gerald's Game, which is like what I think of when I think of like kind of a sexual assault movie, because that movie was awful. So I'm happy with the way they handled that. Like we've already said, they handled it in the right way by not showing anything. And I heard Stone talk about Sorry Baby 2 weeks ago, maybe last week. And he kind of said it's a sexual assault movie that kind of is a comedy. And I was like, how the fuck does that work? Like, I was like, this sounds like an awful movie. Like, why would Stone recommend it? No, it does work really well, while still humanizing her and not doing over the top comedy. I think my favorite character outside of Agnes might be Gavin. Like, when he first popped up on screen, I looked at my wife and I was like, he feels safe. Like, he just kind of feels like a genuine guy.
Yeah.
Lucas Hedges. I mean, I think Ava did such a good job of, because there's no big budget attached to this movie. So I think they did such a good job of selecting really solid actors who don't have a big price tag attached to them, like John Carroll Lynch and like Lucas Hedges. Even Naomi Ackie, even though I think she's slowly getting bigger and bigger, great casting.
Yeah, Naomi Ackie's great.
Yeah.
She's
Really
Mickey
love her.
17 as well last year, right? Like, yeah, she's so great.
Yeah. And then I love the conclusion too, where She's
Oh,
just like
yeah.
holding the baby, kind of talking to it, and it's like her kind of coming around to the terms like maybe someday with Gavin, but also like just experiencing that. And I think it's a good ending as
Yeah.
well. So I kind of want to move that one up higher. I don't know. I might rethink that.
I was in the
position.
same spot. The top 5 is hard. Yeah.
I'm just gonna it might end up in my 4 after we get past this.
I'll say I'll be really quick on my number 5 because I know it's on one of our lists. My number 5 is Hamnet. I got to watch this 2 or 3 days ago. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm obviously tragic. Hold on, let me say the king's name, Jacoby Jupe. Holy fuck!
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin it so much for Jamaal, but it's really good child acting. And
Damn,
like
okay.
very similar to William H. Macy, a true supporting role where the character is not there for a long time, but it has such a lasting impact, and you like remember every single thing they say. Complete showstopper, in my opinion, of a performance. Paul Mescal is really solid. I will say I don't have that much of a connection to Shakespeare, so when Hamlet factors into the story, there's a little bit of a disconnect when it came to my appreciation of that. But because I was so invested in these characters and in the story, it still emotionally hit me just as hard, which I thought was a really big testament of how good the film was. And I told Dan this, hopefully it gets nominated. Personally, for me, this has the best shot composition of the entire movie. There's certain times where the camera gets so close to somebody's face and you feel like you're about to suffocate them. But there's other times where there's a giant, the frame, and the characters feel like kind of like weirdly placed in it. And I really like that. I don't know how to describe it better than that, to be honest. But visually stunning. Also, I didn't realize this. I went on this big old journey at the end of this movie. There's a certain song that is played at the very end of this film during the climax, and I really loved it. And I didn't realize that that is a very famous orchestral song that is played in a lot of movies. And I found out the other one that it plays in. I don't want to ruin it for Jamaal, but
I've just been trying to find a screening because you're all selling me. It's finally out in the UK now. It came out on the 9th, so I've missed it in the UK, and I obviously missed it here. But I found a cinema 40 miles, but it's the only way I'm going to be able to watch it.
Damn.
Yeah, so Disney Springs is like the one location next to me that plays the majority of the movies. So,
damn. Okay, that's a shame.
All right, what we got? Number 4. We're getting there. A lot of movies.
Yeah, I won't say much. I put Marty Supreme 4th. I just think that my top 4 bar 1 are like very ambitious in terms of like what they're doing, and I think that I think Chalamet's performance is I think one of the best I've seen in years, and I hate kind of saying that because I think we should see a lot of performances like this, but I also think an underappreciated part of it that I don't hear people talk about enough is the score. Like the score really elevates what he's doing, the work that he's doing. I actually think that everyone's doing their job. Gwyneth Paltrow is great, but I ultimately think it could have been someone else. Annoyingly, the only person in there that I think is one of one was Kevin O'Leary. Like, I just don't know how you do that movie. Like I hate him. When he first came on screen, I'm like, I hate this guy, and that's why it works, because you're supposed to hate him, and he nails it. And then it's so jarring. Like on the drive home, my girlfriend was like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "I can't get over the whole Kevin O'Leary thing. I hate that guy." So, yeah, I don't have a lot else to say. I just think it's a really stunning performance. I think it's 90% of why the movie is great. I don't know if it's the same as Uncut Gems. Do I like Uncut Gems without Adam Sandler? Probably not. I probably hate it, actually. And I don't know if it got me to care about ping pong, but I was feeling it by the end. I was feeling it on those final few scenes with the dude. And I also think there's people talk about again, particularly because of the discourse this week, people are saying there's not like a lot of internal work going on. And I'm like, yes, there is. There's so much that you see in his eyes right before he says something, or right before he does something. You're like, don't. So many times I was like, don't do it. Don't. I could see your internal mind thinking of something stupid. And then there you go and do the stupid thing, like the bit in the park with Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm like, you're an idiot. I hate you. So I just think it's a great, big, ambitious movie. I know people are saying it's not made enough money, but I'm like, I think it's going to do okay, for a drama about a ping pong guy, I think it's doing all right. But anyway, yeah.
I'm about to spread a big lie. I think that Timothy saw Dan's video about him and changed his mentality when it came to this Oscar run, because he won the obviously he felt very much, when you watch the movie, he felt very much like Marty on these press junkets. And then when he accepted the award of the Critics' Choice Awards, he's like, guys, this is crazy. He was like all shy. He's like, I'm a little bit nervous up here. I'm like, what happened in between that? The Real Takes video.
It wasn't my video, but I think he heard general noise, and I think it
but
was a conscious PR choice.
He's online a lot, right? Like we know he's online a lot. Why when he was over in the UK promoting it, he was referencing very specific like British online culture where you're like, my boy, what are you doing in your spare time? He is online coded. And I weirdly, through my partner, like have a bit of insider knowledge about him, and I know he's watched these videos. I know he's watching TikToks about the stuff.
So when he wins the Oscar, honestly, he'll probably have Dan to thank.
I think he's yeah.
Also, Jamaal, I just wanted to say we talked about it with the Beatles stuff. The rumor that he was SD Kid is one of the stupidest that he's putting on a Scouser accent. What are you talking about? Like, it was the dumbest shit. Everyone was so sold on that. Like,
yeah. Anyway,
crazy. But yeah, my 4 is Sinners. Obviously, it's kind of all been said with Sinners, but I just think like something I said yesterday when I made my video. It was just this was a shitty year for a lot of people, and I think Sinners was such a positive thing. Like everyone was so excited about it. I feel like the film community really mobilized behind it and pushed it. Not that that's why it was successful, but it was just a nice thing to see everyone together on something. We have just different opinions. We disagree. It's not often that there's something that comes around that's just like wholesome, well-made, respectable. Coogler was able to get that deal from the studio to get control of the movie in 25 years, which is awesome as an artist. And it was a powerful, really well-made movie. And I loved it. So that's my 4.
So after further consideration, my 4 and 5 are switched. But what I prepared for this, my 4 is F1, which I know Dan wasn't a fan of.
It was okay.
If you look at his comments, Dan doesn't like any movies, but
I will say that is a movie that's kind of like on the outside of like the Oscar race. I think it's going to get a lot of like under the line, like sound design, technical awards. It's there. A lot of people liked it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I watched it for the first time this week. I hope I didn't pronounce her name right, but I really like Carrie Condon. I really liked her in this. I want to see more of her. Which is funny because I looked through her filmography and I did not realize how important she was to Marvel.
What is she in Marvel?
She's the voice. She's
she's like the new Jarvis.
Yeah, what's her name? I can't remember what the name of her is.
Is it Edna? No, not Edna. That's Incredibles.
Edith.
Edith. Thank you.
Edna was my next door neighbor when I was growing up, though. So that is a name.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Honestly, I kind of went into it wanting Top Gun Maverick with cars. I kind of got that. I think all the performances are really solid. I think Brad Pitt's the weakest, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, he's weak, man.
Yeah, my like one big complaint about the movie is when him and JP kind of start showing hints that they can work together, and they just keep saying over and over that I forget Brad Pitt's character's name, but they're like, oh, he's doing this on purpose. He's going to cause a flag. And then he does the next lap and he wrecks someone else's car. And they're like, he's doing this on purpose so they can get an advantage. It's so much exposition dump, which I know Stone hates.
Yeah,
not a fan of that. But
yeah,
that's a nice pick. That's one that I want Leah to watch because she loves Top Gun Maverick. I think she would really like that.
I was baffled that my wife loved it.
Do you count that as an IP movie? Because is it an IP movie?
I think it's really interesting because it made like $650 million.
Yeah, it did well. Yeah.
Obviously it's attached to F1, so that is the brand. It is an original story. It's interesting. It's like, would an NBA movie make $600 million? No.
How'd Space Jam do?
I mean, it's probably the highest grossing racing movie, probably.
Yeah, it has to be. I would say. I don't know what else could beat it.
I still think Ford versus Ferrari is the best racing movie I've ever seen. So
that's fair. I also want everyone to still check out Gran Turismo. I like that a lot.
Oh yeah, that's I didn't mind. I think it's silly, but like I don't mind it.
It's definitely silly, but like I think it leans into it enough.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right. My number 4 is a movie that I haven't been able to stop thinking about since I watched it 2 days ago. No, yesterday. No Other Choice. Wow. I listened to a conversation with Park Chan-wook. Somebody interviewed him, and he was just talking about how much detail he puts into every single aspect of everything he writes. So, I mean, which should be the case in every single movie, but it was just fascinating learning more and more about the house that's in the film, the occupation, the hobbies that the main character has, being somebody who has a greenhouse and works with bonsai trees, and how that correlates to what he does for a profession. And it's so entertaining too, because I was thinking about it. There's 3 men in this movie who are very significant to the main character in certain ways. And on the surface, I was like, okay, 2 of those were a lot more interesting than the one in the middle. But then I remember what the main character does with the person in the middle. I don't want to spoil it for Connor, and how he takes care of him. And that was like the image that I left with, how he basically uses his bonsai tree skills on a human being. Super cool shit. Incredibly shot. Like the way he like puts the camera on the bottom of a drinking glass. I don't know how the hell that was possible, but I really like it. And I think it wraps up perfectly. I couldn't help but think if the book that it was written the book that it was adapted from, I think it came out in 1997. I think it's called the Axe or something like that. And I can't help but thinking, I think this movie would change in the story. I wonder how that story is in 1997, because if what happened in No Other Choice took place in 1997, I think that all the guys would be friends in a way, because I think that being in 2025 isolates them and makes their situation feel that much more detrimental to their living. I was like, all these guys are the same dude, but they're all at odds with each other. And I don't know. I would love to read the book. But yeah, that's my number 4. No Other Choice.
Number 3. I've gone with Sinners. I just think, again, I think you kind of said it. There's what hasn't been said about this movie all year. Probably one of my favorite original stories I've seen for a while. I haven't felt like that coming out of the cinema. I actually think I love Jack O'Connell. I think his villain is so great. I think he's brilliant. And then I guess just to sort of finish on that whole discourse about him being snubbed, I think too many people focus on that one thing and not. That movie is the sum of its parts, and all of its parts are brilliant. Like the score is brilliant, the acting is brilliant, the supporting cast are brilliant, the filmmaking is brilliant. Yeah, I just think it's a great movie that we just get so few of. So yeah, weirdly, like connects me to They Clone Tyrone as well in the sort of strong black cast, a genre piece. Like I wish They Clone Tyrone had gotten this sort of noise as well. Like I do think more storytelling from other perspectives makes those sort of genres pop a little bit, and this is the great example of it. And we should just keep doing that. Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, I agree. My 3 was Begonia. We already talked about it a little bit. I just think it's a very, very timely movie. I think Jesse Plemons really captures the feeling in the world today of understanding something's wrong, but maybe not understanding what is wrong, or maybe not being able to put your finger on it, or being led in this direction or that, but being ultimately correct in your hypothesis that something is not right. And I think there are so many situations that have, in the past year, that have been like that, where it's just like something's wrong about what happened. And I think it just captured that feeling really well. And I think it also captured, obviously, with the choice that is made with Emma Stone, it makes sense. But her and Plemons' character, they are literally unable to communicate. They are literally they're so different that they're not even speaking the same language to each other. There's no ability there, and I feel like that is something that exists in today's world, where it feels like different people just have this fundamental difference, and that inability to communicate leads to a lot of bad things throughout history. Most commonly, war and violence, which I think we're seeing a lot of right now. And I just think it showed all that so well, and I think it's Yorgos's least funny movie. I didn't see a lot of comedy. I think it's overwhelmingly just dark and sad. But that didn't bother me. So that's my 3.
My 3 is Begonia. I texted Stone like maybe 30 minutes into the movie. I was like, dude, Jesse Plemons is fucking great.
Yeah.
Like,
Why are you texting 30 minutes into a movie?
Because I paused because my kid woke up and went hungry.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. I thought this was in the cinema. Okay, fair play. Fair enough.
So I did have an intermission. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I can piggyback off pretty much everything Dan said. I mean, we've all said it. It's funny because I think Yorgos might be my like 3rd favorite director now. Because right now my order is Tarantino, Chazelle, Yorgos, but I don't know. I want to see some of his non-English speaking movies, and he might move up. But
I know you're not a big fan of Dogtooth, are you?
I
Dan?
hate Dogtooth. I hate it so much. But
I haven't seen it, so maybe that'll be my next or my first watch when I dive into all that. But yeah, I was kind of expecting the Yorgos humor because Poor Things was my favorite movie of 23. Didn't get any of that, which I was kind of happy about. I liked all the serious tones, but yeah, that's my 3.
My number 3. You might have heard of it before. It's called Sinners. I mean, yeah. The one thing I'll say about it is that I'm really happy that Wunmi Musaku is getting maybe a Best Actress nomination, which is sick.
Yeah.
Really cool.
She's incredible in that film.
Going from Deadpool and Wolverine to Sinners, the range. Great stuff. All right,
number 2. I would have put this at number 1, but I think I've gone with a slightly more subjective choice. I'm going with One Battle After Another at number 2. I think ultimately for me, it just feels ambitious in a way that feels a bit unfamiliar. I think we see this kind of ambition with other types of genres. I think Sinners is a great example of that, or even like in Everything Everywhere All at Once. I've seen these big, wieldy films in different directions, and I've seen movies like this that are much smaller. And so then I just have to like Paul Thomas Anderson's craft work is just it's probably him and Baumbach who are my 2 favorites, although I really didn't like Jay Kelly. But yeah, I just loved it. I also just loved that really all I cared about. I know there's so much conversation about the revolutions and revolutionaries and Perfidia's character and fetishization and her betraying people and all of that. And I just was like, all I really gave a shit about was the dad and the daughter. That was the only thing that I just wrapped myself around, that sort of core of it. And I felt that everything else orbited that. And I just fell in love with like him just being like, I need to find my daughter. That was what the movie was for 2.5 hours. The rest of it was like a really great way to color what America is now and looking at it from a distance. But I just fell for it. I think that the movie is a trick in the sense that big scale, that big size, you're being asked to fall for something. And I totally get why people don't. I totally get why people didn't like that movie. I totally get why people are a bit sort of annoyed with certain choices that they're making, particularly around Perfidia, but I fell hook, line, and sinker, and I loved it. So yeah, that's my number 2.
My number 2 is No Other Choice. I watched it 2 nights ago. I came very close to having it as my favorite. I think Park Chan-wook is someone whose movies I've been working through. Decision to Leave and The Handmaiden and now this are 3 of my favorite movies.
Yeah. Damn.
I just think they're all so ridiculously special, and he's very, very creative, very playful. Like you said, Stone, the stuff he does with the camera, his transitions. I forget the name of his editor, but the editing is fabulous. The movie is darkly funny, but again, like we talked about with Sorry Baby, it's this balancing act, right? And there are portions, like it comes and goes. Like you said Stone, the second man he interacts with, you didn't feel that. Like, that hit me so hard. Because, like,
I guess
that,
it's not
that's the person that he truly connects with, like, as a person. Like they connect as fathers. They connect as people who, you know, we might find it funny, but seemingly have passion about paper and, like, the actual craft of it, which I think is so meaningful to the end of the movie. And then he to me, it's the most savage, like, brutal he is in the entire movie. And I think when it's easy when it's a person that's a piece of shit, right? Like a scumbag.
Yeah.
You can kind of find the humor, but there's no humor to be found in that second portion. It's monstrous. I just think it's a special movie, and I hope everyone goes and watches it in the theater.
When you say those three, Decision to Leave, Handmaiden, what another? That's ridiculous. That is a ridiculous set of movies to have in your locker.
Yeah,
I mean, he's also got Old Boy too.
Yeah, I just but
I like Old Boy too, but to me,
I don't think
is not quite those movies.
I agree. Old Boy is iconic for, like, I think that great scene in the hallway, and
the twist. I mean, it's a crazy twist, but
yeah, of course. That three, in terms of being a director, those three are ridiculous.
I guess, Dan, I was talking about when the eventual blow comes, that's the least memorable out of the three blows, if that makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, the interaction at the beginning, though, completely agree.
I can't wait to rewatch that movie. I can't wait to watch
good movie. Yeah. All right, Connor?
My number 2 is Sinners. I mean, what hasn't been said already? I mean, fantastic performance right now. Since I haven't seen Marty Supreme, Michael B. Jordan is my lead for best actor, or like who I have for best actor, but we'll see after I've seen Marty Supreme.
Nice.
All right, my number 2. I mean, I think I can't remember, Dan, did you send my list to Jamaal? Because my number 2 is One Battle After Another. I mean, I rewatched this week with my wife, and she had never watched it before. And I could not believe how fast this movie goes for 3 hours. I think it's Johnny Greenwood's score a lot. It's just the constant rhythm of the background music just propels it. You feel like you're always getting chased. You feel like these characters are always on a mission. It just makes the whole movie fly by. I think the performances, I think it's kind of wild that Benicio del Toro is being considered more for best actor or best supporting actor than Sean Penn. I think that's crazy. I think Sean Penn's excellent in this. Not that Benicio del Toro is.
Yes, wow.
Yeah, I think Critics' Choice Award, Benicio del Toro got it, and then another Critics Association. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think Willa, Chase Infinity's character is just so coolest name in Hollywood, by the way. Yeah. I think that it's just fascinating, the 3 different parents of her life and how that shaped her into the woman that she becomes. Is just a fascinating example of you are not the result of your parents. You can be your own person and be influenced and change yourself and not give excuses for how you turn out to be. And that was really powerful for me, especially the daddy-daughter. And I got to say, I was waiting for my wife to think the same thing. I still think the part where she parks that car is fun. When I saw that in the theater, and then I asked my wife about it when we just watched it this week, I was like, was that not the most, like, the smartest fucking thing that she could have done? And she was like, yeah, that was a great pull. I was like, I know. That was genius, but exhilarating. I remember everyone making fun of the poster with, like, the road. Like, what a boring ass movie that your posters, the poster of your film is literally a road. But
and then good road sequence. One of the most iconic bits of the film as well. Yeah.
Good stuff. Number 1, Jamaal. Ooh, I don't know what you left out.
I feel like I've talked about it quite a lot. I think I kept telling myself it's the most subjective choice, but I don't care. I'm going with Train Dreams. I'm obsessed with that movie. I'm obsessed. I think every single movie on this list, maybe not No Other Choice. I need to see it again. I think I could pick a hole in. I could find a thing. I think Train Dreams is perfect. I think it's perfectly made. What it's trying to do is perfectly performed. It's just, I just adore it. I don't think it's laborious at all. I don't get tired with the slowness of it. I just think it's perfect. I think everything you said earlier, Dan, about the man who gets thrown off, I'm like, I'm haunted by that movie. And it probably is a subjective choice. It probably is that has really hit me the most out of everything. but I just can't pick it in any way. I know people talk about Kerry's accent, but I don't really care about stuff like that. I never have. So maybe that's, again, that might people are talking about Timothée Chalamet's accent and Marty Supreme. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I can put something in the story for why she's. I don't sound like anyone from Leicester. There's a reason why I don't sound like this way. If they cast me in a movie about people from where I'm from, they'd say it was a bad accent, but it's how I sound. So I just think it's a perfect movie. And I'm so gutted. It's like, I don't think Joel Edgerton's going to get close to a nomination, but I think it's perfect. So that's my number one of the year.
It is.
Yeah, great movie. For me personally, it's Hamnet. And I talked about this yesterday, but I just think this movie speaks to like why I like movies and like why I appreciate art. I think I don't think people maybe understand like all the history here is very plausible and real. And I think the way the Maggie O'Farrell tied together Hamlet and the story of Anne Hathaway and Shakespeare is beautiful. And I think it's just a great story about how art allows people to communicate when they can't in other ways. And not just as a viewer, but also as a person who creates things. I think it's one of the great endings. I think sentimental value is that's the U.S. what made me like tear up or cry. Like that ending,
yeah.
Like it's one of the best endings I've ever seen in a movie, and it was very special. But anyway, I just loved Hamnet, and I think, like I said, it reminded me a lot of Sing Sing and just showing why we tell stories and why we, make things and watch things, and it's all there. So I thought it was great. I think Chloe Zhao is one of the best directors working right now. So.
Damn! I need to see this.
It's good.
Yeah, I'll find a way.
My number one of the year is Warfare. Everything Dan said about it earlier hits the head on the nail, but also these two know, but I'll like rip a movie apart if they get something wrong. I already texted Stone after I finished one battle after another about something I was bothered by in the beginning, with how they're handling themselves as soldiers. It just wouldn't happen. It's not right. It's not in the use or whatever. Everything here is perfect. The way they are clearing a house. I'm not saying they're right for doing that, but the way they're like entering houses, the way they're showing cover when they're trying to get their buddy to the armored vehicle to get him out of there, the way they're communicating. I also think one of the best things it does is like in our society, like there's SEALs in this movie, and Navy SEALs are put up on this like pedestal of like they're not scared of anything. They're just like indestructible. And we see that in other movies too. In this one, we actually see what's the actor's name? Charles
Melton.
Like his character when he's like, I'm not in the right headspace to handle this mission after the other team gets there to help them. I think that's really powerful to show these guys who are supposed to be fearless and, ready for anything, where he's like, I'm not in the right headspace. I need you to take over. I think all of it's great. My favorite movie of the year, easily.
I should have known.
I thought you would have.
Great pick. Where did that eventually land on my list? I mean, I think it's like 13th or 14th, so it's right outside. But I think
sadly I have to run. Jamal, it was great meeting you.
See you, I mean, my number one, all you guys said it, but my number one is the reason why I watched it this morning is Sorry Baby. It was my number one going into this morning, and then I rewatched it, and it still is better than One Battle After Another for me, which is crazy because they're very different movies. Like you guys have said, the balance between humor and horror is so hard to do. And I think Ava Victor does such a beautiful job at displaying it. And I think why the movie is funny. And I think this is very powerful to the sexual assault and what the character of Agnes is trying to convey to people that know her is that this is not define who she is as a person. She does not want to be known for this, doesn't want people to go around her and feel scared of her all the time or scared for her. And I think it's because Agnes is a funny person before this happens. So I think it's very important and purposeful that Ava carries on that characteristic throughout her life. And very, very funny person. I mean, and then the writing surrounding it is every single word that's spoken. There's so many scenes. I mean, it is broken up into certain chapters of this person's life after this incident. It's got a good sandwich sequence, and I love sandwiches, so it had to be my number one. I love sandwiches. But we've gone a little bit long. Jamaal, to shorten it up a little bit, did you just want to tell us maybe some of your most anticipated for 2026, and we can just X and A on the Gold Globe conversation?
Yeah, sure. I have two. I just saw the trailer a couple of days ago for, I forgot what it's called now. I thought I had it written down, but I don't. The one that's all sound design. That's the one actress and. Hold on, you may want to check out the trailer for this. Hold on, I'll just.
That's all sound design.
Yeah, there's one actress in this movie. It literally it's. Hold on, let me find the trailer for you. It's an A24 movie, of course. Hold on, I'll take while I search up the first one. The first one that I want to say was "Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die," the Gore Verbinski movie. I think that looks
hell yeah,
incredible. The trailer hooked me immediately. You know, Gore Verbinski's not been around for 9-10 years. So yeah, really excited about that. Then I've forgotten the name already, but the Zazie Beetz movie, the one where she's in like the weird hotel or something and she has to kill everybody. That looks great. And
the trailer just dropped.
Which one?
Yeah,
the trailer just dropped for that, right?
Yeah, I thought the trailer was great. And then so the A24 one is called Undertone. If you've not seen the trailer, it's
a horror movie, right?
It's just like I'm like, how are you guys gonna do this? It's just a woman and sound. So I'm in for it. And I heard like they bought it for a lot, like at one of the festivals. So yeah, very excited to work out how that goes. So those are my three, I think. But truth be told, I probably there's so many movies that are gonna come out.
And they will kill you is the Zazie Beetz.
Yes, They Will Kill You. That looks fun. I don't know what it was I loved about that. She's great. It looked really funny. It looked really bloody. It looked really It looks a bit like Ready or Not, but like slightly.
Which is interesting because the sequel is about to come out. I thought that was very interesting. Ready or Not 2.
Yeah.
It did remind me of Ready or Not, but maybe more violent than Ready or Not.
But I also think this looks really funny.
Some
of it looks like there's a bit where she's like, "Oh, I'll text you in the WhatsApp group where her location is." Like, I just think it looks really funny in a way that is going to be fun. So yeah, and I love Zazie Beetz. She's great. So
I think 2026 is going to be incredible. I think the box office is going to go crazy. I think there's going to be a lot of other really cool stuff. Some things for me: Dune Part 3, The Odyssey, Werewolf, the Eggers movie, Mother Mary, David Lowery movie with Michaela Cole and Anne Hathaway looks nuts.
Oh, Michaela Cole is back. Great, yeah.
She's in a couple things this year. There's something else I'm forgetting, but Disclosure Day, Spielberg. Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride. Very excited.
Yes.
Chronicles of Narnia. I have that
one.
I think it's going to be really good or like putridly bad.
I think it's going to be very interesting regardless. It's like a movie that you kind of have to see for good or bad reasons. Whatever.
And this is I didn't even know much about it. This is a new. It's not part of the previous.
No, they're starting completely fresh, and they're not starting with. They're starting with The Magician's Nephew. I think.
Great.
The sixth one, right?
I think they're trying to go chronologically. I don't remember fully the order, but but that
Magician's Nephew is the first chronologically. So
there you go.
Exactly. Yeah. And then just The Bride, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Digger, which is the Alejandro Iñárritu movie, which looks funny but odd, and Artificial, the new Luca Guadagnino movie about AI.
Great. Yeah, that sounds like a great year.
There's a lot more stuff, but like those are just.
I said I had two that you guys mentioned: The Chronicles of Narnia, Disclosure Day, but then I have The Legend of Aang: The Last Airbender. I feel like I have to have that on here, even though, unfortunately, sorry for getting loud there, it is going to Paramount Plus now and not going to theaters. Pissed me the fuck off, but it's fine. Also, I mentioned my favorite movie of all time a little bit ago in this recording. Yeah. I have a sequel coming out, The Social Reckoning, with
what's that
yeah,
about? Yeah,
Jeremy
okay.
Allen White. I think it's about the January 6th incident, and it is not being directed by David Fincher, which is a bummer. It is being directed by the writer of The Social Network, which is escaping my mind right now.
Aaron Sorkin.
Yes, Aaron Sorkin is directing it and writing it. So no Fincher, no Jesse Eisenberg, which is a bummer. Yeah, Jeremy Strong, Jeremy Allen White, and Mikey Madison.
Oh, they're back together again. Yeah.
Good cast. So
So
that'll
who's
be really
Jeremy Allen?
interesting.
Who's White playing?
He's playing No, he's not playing Mark Zuckerberg. Jeremy Strong is playing Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, surely.
That's gonna be so good. Oh my god.
Do you know what? I wasn't interested in, but I think that could be all right. When Aaron Sorkin's on it as a director too, it's he does decent stuff. So yeah,
I love Strong. I think Strong's one of the best actors alive.
he's I was lucky enough to interview him at the festival, and I remember he came up with such an intense energy. I was like, oh no, he's gonna hate this. And then I think because I didn't ask him like boring popcorn questions, he just opened up, and I was like, great. Yeah, he's great. He's so cool.
So my last one, I don't know if it's actually coming out this year, but I have Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma, which is the follow-up to I saw the TV Glow from Jane Schonenbrunn. I really like Jane Schonenbrunn.
Is it a sequel to that, or just a follow-up?
No, I think it's just a queer filmmaker is hired to direct a new installment of a slasher franchise. So yeah, completely new story, new original idea. I really like Jane. I really liked their first film, We All Go to the World's Fair. I thought that was a sick movie. Really good, low budget debut film. But yeah, super excited for 2026. Super excited to maybe have Jamaal Berkmar on sometime in 2026. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we are in 2026 right now, but do you want to tell people where they can find you?
I mean, right now, just TikTok. I do have a YouTube channel which will start getting used this year. There's some stuff getting prepped, but just TikTok and Instagram for now. But there's some, I'm trying to go off in some other directions this year, which will be fun.
How was the Instagram life for you? I actually don't follow you over there.
So I only used to have Instagram because I was a choreographer, so I'd post choreography. So I only really if I think a take will work over there, I'll post it. But I don't once a week I post on TikTok, on Instagram. It's every day on TikTok at this rate. I'm writing this year, which I'm really enjoying, but it's not. I'm doing nonfiction. I'm doing fiction, a little short stories. So I'm gonna try that out this year and see how that feels. But yeah, excited to see what the year brings for all of us. Thank you guys for listening, and please go follow Jamaal everywhere. Very entertaining, very knowledgeable person, especially about movies. And I will annoy you at some point.
You might want to stitch one of his videos here or there.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're not annoying people at some point, you're not doing it right. It's not about just agreeing 24/7.
No.
Then everything would get boring if everyone agreed all the time.
Yeah.
Next week we're talking about 28 years later, The Bone Temple. I'm excited to talk about that. But until then, please let us know your favorite movies of 2025 wherever you're listening to this. If you want to comment that down wherever. But until next week, until 28 years later, please go outside, sit on a park bench, touch some grass, call up some friends, make sure they're doing okay. We'll see you then. Peace out, everybody.